What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction. In this, we have biggest myths Americans believe about the UK. Before we dive in, if you guys happen to enjoy, please don't forget to smash subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. Also, if you like to support the channel by becoming a member, all you gotta do is hit the join button to receive your exclusive benefits. Let's get to it.
Welcome back to Going Walkabout. After living in England for 5 years in the 80s, I am still amazed by how many Americans view British people. I'm often asked the same questions. Is British food bland? Are British people unfriendly? They seem so stoic. You know, the stiff upper lip and all that kind of stuff. In this video, I will attempt to go over 9 myths that I've heard from many Americans, and hopefully by the end of the video, we can put these myths to bed once and for all. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Susan Steele, and with my husband, we sold everything that we own almost 4 years ago and have been traveling nonstop ever since. Currently, we're house sitting for someone in England. We also hope to visit France and then come back to England in search of a permanent place to live. Stay till the end, and I will go over our revised plans for travel for the next few months. Number 1 myth. Many Americans believe everybody in England speaks with a posh accent. And this is probably because of a lot of marketers that have used British voices for things that are luxury items like expensive cars. And so we get used to the fact that everybody speaks a certain way, which I believe is called the Queen's English. That is mostly folks from the southeast of England. There are actually over 43 different accents in the country of England.
A lot of them.
If you drive around England, you'll get a chance to hear many different accents. If you go up to Newcastle, it's almost hard to understand that they're even speaking English. And obviously there's the Scottish accent and there's a Welsh accent. There's also a Scottish language and a Welsh language. So England is comprised of many different peoples with many different accents. I have noticed that the Cockney accent is becoming a lot more popular lately. I'm not sure if that's due to Guy Ritchie movies or what the influence is. But England is a diverse culture with many different types of accents that are wonderful to experience as you travel the country. Number 2 myth.
Like if you've seen like movies or TV shows with British actors, you should know that like it's not just that posh accent. I get asked when you get told to emulate a British accent or imitate a British accent, you do go to that posh accent. Like most Americans, we don't typically go for any other accent, which is kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, you should know that they had like, if you heard Jason Statham talk, you know, like that ain't no posh accent on that man. And there's so many different British actors that when you hear them talk, you know, okay, now this posh accent ain't everywhere.
English food is terrible and bland. Hey, I lived here during the 80s, and at that time, it was very much a kind of meat and potato sort of diet. Even at the pubs, and Sunday lunch was kind of the big thing. We did have some curry places at that time, but very few. That's completely changed. England is a different place altogether now. A great deal of change can be given to people like Jamie Oliver, the Naked Chef, or Gordon Ramsay, the Lounge Chef.
That's my guy.
Because these chefs have elevated not only English cooking, but any kind of cooking in general in the country, everywhere you go now, you can be presented with amazing food options. Add to that, when England was a part of the European Economic Community and many people from other countries moved to England, they brought along many of their different types of foods. And so you could go to a pub and get really high levels of French food and Turkish food and so forth. And that still exists today. So I would say one of the best things about England now is their food. It's anything but boring. Number 3.
Yeah, I feel like when I see British food, I don't think boring. Like from what I've seen, where you talk about like a full English breakfast, there are some things I really wouldn't eat. But for the most part, I feel like, yeah, or a Sunday roast, bro. Like, y'all better be paying attention to these Brits out here because they be whipping up some good food. But that is a stereotype that I have heard about the British in America. And so, but yeah, from what I've seen from different videos, it definitely don't look like the food is bland or boring. It be looking good. that fish and chips. Just something as simple as fish and chips. Y'all make it look so good.
3. The Brits are obsessed with tea. And
Ah,
while
that's a
they
triple,
love
man.
tea, they're not really obsessed with it. It is something that came into their culture in the 17th century and stayed in a very, very nice way. Tea really is one of those things that has become a ritual of British culture, and a nice one in as much as if somebody's having a hard day, offering them a cup of tea is usually a great pick-me-up.
Tea truly is the magic elixir in the UK. William Gladstone, a statesman, was quoted as saying, "If you are cold, tea will warm you. If you are too heated, it will cool you. If you are excited, it will calm you."
Number 4, the Brits love
I'd be feeling like y'all is obsessed with tea. I would say y'all is obsessed because you gotta be made a certain way. Y'all get in fights over what goes first and what the perfect way to make a proper cup of tea. So I feel like you got tea time. You got I don't from what I've seen in so many videos and so many British TV sitcoms or shows. Y'all be obsessed with that tea.
queuing. They love standing in line. That's not true. The difference is that they actually do like order and a calm society. In Britain, calmly standing in line really is ingrained as part of their culture to civility and a symbol of consideration for others. By the way, don't jump the queue, because then you will see possibly some people that are a little bit more uncivilized. Myth number 5.
And I figure don't nobody like waiting in line, bro. Right? No. But you guys do it like she said. You guys like ordering. You guys understand ordering. So you guys do it. But I was like, can nobody love queuing? Like nobody loves to wait in line.
They drink warm beer. No, they don't. They'll drink ale at room temperature.
There you go.
But when it comes to lagers, they drink those just like we do in America, out of a tap, and they like them nice and cold, just like we do. Guinness, on the other hand, can be drunk at room temperature or cold. So that's one that can actually go either way. So just to be clear, no beer or ale or lager is served warm.
Okay.
Number 6 myth.
I like to hear
Britain
that.
is always rainy. And if you're American, you probably get this because of the movies that we've seen, like French Lieutenant's Woman, where there's just constant fog and drizzle. And many of those English estate movies where they're all walking around in the rain. Or the guy with the bowler hat and the umbrella. With that said, these are all stereotypes.
Yeah.
Because the UK is islands, they do get changeable weather. So you can literally get rain, drizzle, fog, and sun all in one day. I will say this, I've had the pleasure of being in England for summer, and some of the summers I've had are as good as the summers in California. So it does not rain all the time. In fact, England actually experiences droughts. They're having droughts in certain part of the country right now. So far from getting rain all the time, it's just very changeable weather, which is pleasant. So keep your weather app at hand and do pay attention to it, because they do a good job of updating it almost on an hourly basis, which is pretty necessary. Number 7 myth, and that's the
And I feel like, but I just feel like the rainy thing and the weather in Britain, I feel like most of that comes from Brits complaining about the weather. Because I do see people like that go over and they're like, bro, this is a myth. Like, there's some great weather here. But it mostly be the Brits that I see in different videos that are like complaining about the weather. So it's kind of crazy to think about that. But we'll keep it going.
England, Britain, and the UK are the same thing. To be clear, England is the country, one country. Great Britain includes England, Scotland, and Wales. And then the UK is England, Scotland, Wales, and
Northern
adding
Ireland.
Northern Ireland. Hopefully that clears that myth up. Myth number 8.
Yeah, it absolutely took me watching a lot of British videos to figure that piece of information out.
And that's that London is all of Britain, or London is so small you can walk everywhere. And while originally London was just 1 square mile, It is now 600 square miles and a city full of 8 million people. If you focus just on the tourist areas, London might seem more manageable or smaller or walkable, but really you'll want to get out to areas like Hampton Court and Windsor Castle, all of which are huge for history in this country. And with that said, there are so many cities in this country that are worth visiting that are just as interesting and nice as London. You can go to Edinburgh, which is in Scotland. You can go to Salisbury, which is in Wiltshire. You can go to Bath, which is in Somerset, and then York and Yorkshire, and there are more than that, but those are just a few that I've had the opportunity to go to that are incredible when it comes to history. And here we are.
Those places are absolutely freaking beautiful. My days. So again, shout out to the UK, and that is something I feel like a lot of countries like falsely believe that London is like all of Britain, or that everybody's like the people that are in London. Like you got to visit all. I mean, in every single country, there's so many different parts of the country, bro. Like not everywhere is gonna be the same.
Number 9, and that is the myth that Brits are reserved and unfriendly. Reserved, yes. Unfriendly, no. I'll never forget the time I was driving in York trying to get to a B&B, and this is in the 80s, and I was completely lost. And a man came up to the side of the car and tapped on the window and he said, "Can I help you?" And I said, "I don't know how to get to this B&B." He virtually walked by the side of my car, it was probably over a mile, to walk me to where the Airbnb, or it wasn't Airbnb, it was just a B&B at the time, where the B&B was. And I couldn't have been more appreciative because I was so lost, and it's such a difficult area to navigate in. But I have found that kind of kindness from British people over and over again. And far from being unfriendly, they have these wonderful terms of endearment they use with everyone. And they call people, they say, "All right, love," "All right, pet." They may say something like, "Yes, darling, what can I do for you today?" It makes you feel so good. It's far nicer than "Hey, pal," which is what we use in America a lot of times. And again, far from being unfriendly, they have this sly, dry humor, which is just wonderful. And for those of you that have had the opportunity to watch some of the British exports on TV that come over, you'll know what I'm talking about. In The Office or Fawlty Towers, or there was one during the 80s called Coupling that was just hysterical. These comedy shows just showcase how clever and funny the British people really are.
For sure.
Having traveled all over a lot of the globe, especially the last 4 years, I'm always happy to come back to the UK and be around the people here who are so genuine and kind. So that's it. I think I covered all the myths, but if I...
Yeah, I feel like to me the British are absolutely friendly, absolutely kind. And that story that she told, that man who walked beside her car, walked her to the Airbnb, like, come on. That absolutely goes to show the kindness and politeness that happens in Britain, and that's absolutely awesome. I love that she's experienced such great things in the country. Shout out to the UK. Shout out to the Brits. That's all we got for this video. Y'all talk to me in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And if you enjoyed, please don't forget to subscribe. Give it a bit of thumbs up. Check out the next.